If you found this video, it's probably because somebody told you you should try cleaning your MAF sensor, the mass airflow sensor. This is a 2004 Lincoln town car, and what I'm going to show you is probably the same for most Ford, Mercury, Lincoln vehicles of that era. And pop the hood. One of the issues about the mass airflow sensor is when it goes bad or it gets dirty, it doesn't actually throw off any codes that would say clean it. And for something that has such an effect on the rest of the car, you'd think that this would be really part of somebody's tune-up. So you've got the air filters in this box. Air comes through there and it passes through this, which is the mass airflow sensor, and then it goes in here, and the sensor is telling the flap in here how much air to let into the engine, so it's mixing the gas and the air. And the issue is that despite changing this filter, a lot of times the dirt will get caught up on the pins in here, the sensor, and if you don't clean it, it can throw off everything. So if your car is getting bad gas mileage, or it's hiccuping, or anything else, a lot of mechanics will just start throwing parts at it because that's what the codes are telling them to do, when in fact what you should really start to do is start by cleaning this, and try cleaning it every 6 months. Now, on here you're also going to see a couple of ways to get the thing off. You've got 2 screws here, and if you are fortunate enough to have secure torx wrenches, then you can just remove those and take it off and clean the sensor the way I'm going to show you. But most people don't have. They might have the torx, but they don't have torx secure, which has a little hole in it, and I don't know why they do that, but personally I'm not going to go out and buy a new set. So what I'm going to do is show you an equally easy way. Flathead screw, 10mm bolts. You take these 4 bolts off, you take this whole unit out. Of course you're going to be removing the wiring here. You just push down on it and then push it out. And again, if you have the secure torque screws, you can take it off here, but you need to be careful. There's a rubber gasket in there, and if you get the MAF cleaning sensor fluid on there, it'll distort it, and then you're going to have to go buy a new a rubber gasket. All right, so we will do what I'm going to do, which is just take off these 4 bolts. Most mechanics are going to have their bolt set and the flathead screw. Okay, so if you want to be absolutely by the book, you need to disconnect the battery over there, but I'm not doing that. You start by removing the wiring to the MAF sensor. Just push down on that knob there, wiggle it back and forth. Kind of hard to do with one hand. There we go. Okay, that's nice and clean. Just push that off to the side for now. And you're going to need a flathead screwdriver, and these 4 bolts here are 10mm. So you're going to need a 10mm socket. Fits right on there. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and remove those, and I'm going to remove that screw, and then we're going to push the tube up out of the way so we can pull the other side off. Okay. So on this clamp here, you're just going to unscrew that. Don't unscrew it all the way, just loosen it up so that the band is nice and loose. And then we're going to just pull that up out of the way. Okay, get that off of there, just like that. That's disconnected. Now we're going to undo these 4 bolts. Now we've got all 4 of these bolts off of here. And you see there's a little gasket there, a little foam gasket. I want to make sure that I don't rip that thing. Last thing I want to have to do is buy something. Alright, so now it comes off of there, okay? Now, as I think I said before, this is the part that if you go to a Ford dealership, they're going to want over $400 for it. Now, you're supposed to clean these things once every 6 months or so, maybe the same time as you replace the air filter in this box. And you could. That's not that hard, I guess, but I'm just kind of hard-headed about these things. I really hate to see this little torx thing with that metal prong in there. I was asking myself how they got that in there, and they must have had a torx screw that has a hole in the middle of it so that they can put that in there. But I even went to a Ford place and they don't sell that. So I'm going to clean the thing in here as it is right now, and then I might try to see about replacing these screws. Although looking at it right now, I don't know if I'm going to do that, because I can't get this one out of here. I can't get enough room on there to get a vice grip on there. Anyway, let's go ahead and clean this. So don't use anything except the mass airflow sensor cleaner. Just don't use anything else. Nothing else is going to clean it, and it'll just actually make it worse. So just go get a can of this. It's cheap, and then we're going to clean it. And what we're looking for on here to clean is, you see that little thing right there? That is what we're trying to clean. I'm hoping that my phone is focusing on that. It doesn't look too bad right now, but they do get a little gunky, and we'll get it on both sides, and we're going to spray it in there too, and this stuff will evaporate pretty quickly, and just clean the whole thing. You can't go wrong with it. If you do end up getting this thing off of here, there's a rubber gasket. You got to make sure that this cleaner does not get on anything rubber, because it deforms it and then you won't be able to seal it back up properly. Okay? All right, let's kind of jury rig this up to see if I can show you how this is done. And there again, you've got this part right in here that I'm going to spray, and then this sensor right here. Don't touch it with the straw, don't touch it with your fingers, nothing like that, okay? I'm just going to spray that on there. Spray it on that sensor. Turn around. Okay. Try to get that on there. I think that thing was probably pretty dirty. All right, I'm gonna let that evaporate and we'll put it back in. Give it a few minutes, and it's looking clean, it's looking dry. I'm a coward. I'm not gonna bother trying to take that out of there. That's more than I'm gonna do in this video. Maybe at some point. I guess at the end of the day, it wasn't that hard to take the thing out of there. It's just one flathead screw and 4 bolts. So I will live with it that way. So I'm just going to go ahead and put it back in here, make sure we got it running as well as we can. All right, all 4 bolts are tightened up all the way around there. Don't forget to tighten up the clamp on the hose, and definitely don't forget to put connector back on there until it clicks. All right, and then that should be good. I guess I learned a lesson. In the end, I got 4 bolts and a screw to do. It's not worth me maybe messing everything up by trying to replace these things. I was just annoyed that somebody put those in there to start with. So I hope this has been helpful.